Hello. In this presentation, I will talk a bit about the ableism that is very present in the modern school education system. And in this case, I will be talking a bit about what is defined as ableism and how this system has favored able-bodied people. So firstly, according to Verisho Renard, ableism is defined as the ideas, practices, institutions, and social relations that presume able-bodiedness. And by doing so, constructing persons with disabilities as marginalized, oppressed, and largely invisible others. So, in other words, it is a discrimination and marginalization against people with disabilities that puts able-bodied people in a privileged position. So, just as with many other areas of society, discrimination in the education system is still present against autistic children. This can present itself in various forms. For example, through the negligence or the refusal to cooperate with these children. The subject is relevant to the global politics course because it is deeply interrelated with concepts such as equality, discrimination, and justice. When a system favors a particular group of people, we face a sort of marginalization with distinct groups. And this is what I will be talking about in this case. All of these are bound to come up when dealing with a subject like this. So in this particular case, a family from Queen Creek, Arizona, noticed that their autistic child was coming home in a sad mood and with bruises. They were told that their child would be put in a separate room doing homework for 30 minutes and if he became disruptive. However, after attaching a recording device, they heard something completely different. Their son was being confined in a room on his own and intermittently being abused verbally. After seeing a therapist, they concluded that their son had PTSD and the family has since sued the school. So it is also very, very important to keep in mind that it is only one case of the many cases that still come up in modern society, reported or unreported, of the ableism that is in academic context. But this can also happen for many other reasons, and in this particular case, the school purposefully abused the child for not conforming to their standards. But it can also occur in other ways. For example, some schools have kicked out any student that does not meet their standards. And this has caused children to have a lack of education and they have been put at a disadvantage because of this. And it can also occur in other forms. In 2002, Hegel noted that ableism is apparently rooted in negative assumptions about disabilities, and it could be argued that this is correct. A northern form in which ableism may present itself is in an unwillingness to accommodate neurodivergent students when they are clearly struggling to learn in the given environment. These students are expected to conform in this environment, and they are not giving the assistance they need. And the assistance with therapists and assistants is very expensive and inaccessible to many. Ableist attitudes from individuals and societies have been only addressed in relatively recent times. So according to the Society for the Psychological Study of Social Issues, this may be due to the belief systems such as social Darwinism, which was put into action, for example, by Nazi Germany through the T4 program, which allowed them to murder incurably ill, physically or mentally unstable, emotionally distraught, and elderly people. Today, these types of policies still exist, though in a less extreme form. For example, Atlantic News reported that in Nova Scotia, Canada, a housing program for people with intellectual disabilities was closed using ableist reasoning. There are a various number of possible solutions or methods to combat ableism in various scopes: local, regional, national, and international community. One basic form is by raising awareness in our community. Although this is a more minor form of combating ableism, it is still productive as it allows more people to be attentive and mindful when dealing with the issue. According to many institutions that do this, there are self-advocacy groups. In contrast with other organizations. These are run by neurodivergent people and do not have ill intent, like acting in their best interest. Neuro- some associations that could be aided are the Autism Grown Up, Neurodiverse Self Advocacy Forum, International Dyslexia Association, Autistic Self Advocacy Association, and Neurodiversity Association. These are all part of many. So, to sum it up, there are many ableist tendencies in many practices that are in the education system, and this can only be aided to change the policies and enacting a awareness within the population. Many students are expected to conform to unrealistic standards, and this puts them in a disadvantage. It is a society where only certain groups of people are privileged and only certain groups of people will have a wider access to many resources. So this is why there needs to be a certain change when dealing with a subject like this.